What if I told you that the life you hate right now is not because of your circumstances, but because you've lost control of your own mind? Most people think their problem is lack of opportunity. Some think it's bad luck. Others blame people, society, or timing. But the truth, your biggest problem is the voice inside your head, the same voice that tells you, do it later. You're not ready. You're not good enough. It's too hard. And slowly, without realizing it, you start believing it. This is how people lose control of their lives, not in one big moment, but in small, repeated thoughts that shape their actions every single day. Because here's the reality no one tells you. You don't become what you want. You become what you repeatedly think. If your mind is filled with doubt, you will act with hesitation. If your mind is filled with fear, you will avoid growth. If your mind is addicted to comfort, you will run from discipline. And then you wonder why your life isn't changing. But let me tell you something powerful. Your thoughts are not facts. They are patterns. Patterns you've repeated so many times, they feel like truth. And once something feels true, it controls your decisions. That's why two people can have the same situation, but completely different outcomes. One says, "This is hard, I'll quit." The other says, "This is hard, I'll grow." Same reality, different mind, different life. So the question is not, what's happening to you? The real question is, what are you telling yourself about it? Because that is where everything begins. Right now, your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest prison. And if you don't take control of it, it will control you. But here's the scary part. Most people don't even realize their mind is working against them. And in the next part, you'll discover the hidden way your thoughts are silently destroying your future without you even noticing. You wake up with plans. Today will be different. You'll be productive, focused, disciplined. But then it starts. A small thought. Let me check my phone for a minute. Another one. I'll start after this. And another. I don't feel like it right now. And just like that, your entire day slips away. Not because you're lazy, not because you lack potential, but because your mind is quietly sabotaging you. This is the part no one sees, the invisible battle happening inside your head. Every single day, your brain is wired to choose comfort over growth, easy over hard, now over later. It's not your fault. It's how you've trained it. Every time you avoided something difficult, your mind learned. This is the way. Every time you chose distraction, your mind reinforced. This feels better. And now, it's automatic. You don't even think about it anymore. You just scroll, you just delay, you just escape. And the dangerous part? It feels normal. That's how people stay stuck for years without even realizing it, because the enemy isn't outside. It's not your job. It's not your situation. It's not other people. It's the version of you that keeps choosing short-term comfort over long-term growth. And here's the truth most people avoid. Discipline is not about motivation. It's about awareness. You have to catch the thought before it becomes an action. The moment your mind says, do it later. That's the moment everything is decided, because if you obey that thought, you strengthen the habit of delay. But if you challenge it, you start breaking the pattern. This is where control begins, not in big decisions, but in small moments. Moments where no one is watching, but everything is changing. Because every time you win against your mind, even in something small, you become stronger. And every time you lose, your mind becomes stronger than you. So ask yourself honestly, who is in control? You or your thoughts? Because right now, one of you is winning, and the results of your life are proving it. And what you're about to realize next might completely change the way you see your own mind forever. There's a lie, a very dangerous lie, that your mind has been repeating for years, and you've believed it every single time. I'll do it when I feel ready. Sounds harmless, right? But that one sentence has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. Because feeling ready is an illusion. You will never feel fully ready. You will never feel perfectly confident. You will never feel like the timing is just right. That's not how growth works. Your mind is designed to protect you, not to push you. It wants safety, certainty, comfort. So whenever you try to do something difficult, something new, something uncomfortable, it creates resistance, doubt, fear, overthinking, not because you can't do it, but because it's unfamiliar. And your mind hates the unfamiliar. So it tricks you. It tells you, wait a little more, prepare a bit more, start tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. And slowly, your life becomes a collection of things you almost did. This is how people stay average, not because they lack ability, but because they keep waiting for a feeling that was never meant to come. Let me tell you something clearly. Action does not come after confidence. Confidence comes after action. You don't feel ready and then start. You start and then you become ready. Every confident person you see today was once unsure, scared, hesitant. The only difference? They didn't listen to that voice. They moved despite it. And that's the shift you need to make. Stop asking, do I feel like it? Start asking, does this move me forward? Because your feelings will lie to you, but your actions will build you. Yeah, right now your mind is waiting for comfort, while your life is waiting for movement. And until you break this cycle, nothing changes. You don't need more time. You don't need more motivation. You need to stop negotiating with your thoughts and start acting in spite of them. Because the moment you stop obeying your mind is the moment you start controlling it. And what most people don't realize is there's a deeper reason why your mind keeps pulling you back. And once you see it, you won't be able to ignore it anymore. There's a reason, a deeper reason, why your mind keeps dragging you back to comfort. It's not just habit, it's identity. You see, your mind doesn't just follow what you do. It protects who you believe you are. If deep down, you see yourself as someone who procrastinates, your mind will make sure you stay that person. If you believe you lack discipline, your mind will find ways to prove it, because your brain always tries to stay consistent with your self-image, even if that image is holding you back. That's why change feels so hard. It's not just about doing something new, it's about becoming someone new. And your mind resists that, because becoming someone new means letting go of who you've been. It means stepping into discomfort, uncertainty, a version of you that feels unfamiliar. So what does your mind do? It pulls you back to old habits, old patterns, old excuses, because that's what feels safe, even if that safety is slowly destroying your potential. Think about it. How many times have you said, this is just how I am? I'm not consistent. I can't focus. I always quit. Those aren't facts. Those are identities you've accepted. And once you accept an identity, your actions start matching it automatically. That's why willpower alone doesn't work. You can push yourself for a day, maybe two. But if your identity doesn't change, you will always fall back, because your mind will say, this isn't you. And eventually, you'll believe it. So if you really want to discipline your mind, you have to go deeper. You don't just change what you do. You change who you think you are. Yes, instead of saying, I'm trying to be disciplined, you say, I am someone who does what needs to be done. Instead of, I'm bad at focus, you say, I am building focus every day. Small shift, massive impact. Because when your identity changes, your decisions follow. And when your decisions change, your life starts to change. This is where real control begins, not on the surface, but at the core. Because once your mind starts working with you, instead of against you, everything becomes different. But here's what most people miss. Even if you change your identity, there's still one final barrier that silently pulls you back into your old life. You can change your thoughts. You can build a new identity. You can promise yourself, this time will be different. But if your environment stays the same, you will fall back every single time, because your environment is stronger than your intentions. Look around you. The people you talk to, the content you consume, the habits you've normalized, all of it is shaping your mind daily. If you're surrounded by distraction, your focus doesn't stand a chance. If you're constantly consuming negativity, your mindset will reflect it. If your environment rewards comfort, discipline will always feel unnatural. This is why people struggle. They try to change internally, while staying in the same external loop. Same routine, same triggers, same behavior. And then they wonder why nothing sticks. But here's the truth. Your mind doesn't operate in isolation. It responds to cues that are everywhere around you. Your phone on the table is a cue to scroll. Your bed is a cue to relax. Your old habits are tied to specific environments. So if you don't change the cues, you won't change the behavior. This is where discipline becomes practical, not just mental, but physical. You remove what weakens you. You design what strengthens you. You make distractions harder to access. You make focus easier to enter. Because the less resistance to discipline, the more consistent you become. And the more resistance to distraction, the less power it has over you. This is not about willpower. This is about strategy. Because strong people don't rely on motivation. They control their environment, so they don't have to fight themselves every day. Imagine this, a version of you, where doing the right thing feels natural, where discipline is not a battle, but a default. That doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. And once you understand this, you stop blaming yourself and start building systems that work for you. Because at the end of the day, you don't rise to your goals. You fall to your environment. And if you don't take control of what surrounds you, it will continue to control who you become. But even with the right environment and the right mindset, there's still one thing that separates people who start from those who actually finish. Most people think success comes from big actions, a sudden burst of motivation, a perfect plan, a powerful start. But that's not what changes your life. Because intensity fades. You felt it before. That moment where you're fired up, ready to change everything. You make promises, set goals, feel unstoppable. And then, a few days later, it's gone. The energy drops, the excitement fades, and you're back where you started. This is the trap, relying on intensity instead of building consistency. Because discipline is not about how hard you go. It's about how long you can stay. Small actions, repeated daily, even when you don't feel like it. That's where real change happens. Think about it like this. If you improve just a little, every day, your life will look completely different in a few months. But if you go all in and then stop, you reset back to zero. That's why consistency beats motivation every time. It's not exciting, it's not glamorous, but it works. Because every time you show up, you send a signal to your mind. This is who I am. Not once, not twice, but again, and again, and again. And slowly, your identity strengthens. Your habits become automatic. Your resistance gets weaker. And what once felt hard starts to feel normal. This is how disciplined people are built. Not in one powerful moment, but in hundreds of quiet ones, moments where they could quit, but didn't. Moments where they didn't feel like it, but showed up anyway. That's the difference. Not talent, not luck, consistency. So stop waiting for the perfect day. Stop chasing motivation. And start focusing on one thing: showing up, no matter what. Even if it's small, even if it's imperfect, even if it's hard. Because every time you stay consistent, you take control back from your mind. And every time you break, your old patterns take over again. So the real question is not, how motivated are you? It's, how consistent can you be when motivation is gone? Because that answer will decide everything. And in the end, there's only one thing left that turns discipline into a permanent lifestyle. Something most people never truly master. At this point, you understand your thoughts, your identity, your environment, your consistency. But none of it matters if discipline is still something you force. Because forced discipline doesn't last. It feels heavy. It feels exhausting. It feels like a constant battle. And sooner or later, you burn out. That's why most people fail. They treat discipline like a temporary phase instead of a permanent lifestyle. But real control comes when discipline becomes your default. Not something you think about, something you are. Just like brushing your teeth, just like checking your phone, automatic, effortless, part of you. So how do you reach that point? You simplify. You stop trying to change everything at once, and you focus on a few non-negotiables. Things you do, no matter what, not based on mood, not based on motivation, but based on identity. It could be waking up on time, working for one focused hour, avoiding a specific distraction, simple actions, but done daily, without exception. Because when something becomes non-negotiable, your mind stops debating it. There's no, should I do this today? It becomes, this is what I do. And that removes the biggest enemy of discipline: decision fatigue. Most people don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they keep deciding over and over again, and every decision drains them. But when you remove the decision, you remove the struggle. You act without thinking. You move without resistance. And that's power, because now your mind is no longer in control. You are. And over time, those small non-negotiables build a version of you that doesn't break easily. A version of you that doesn't rely on feelings. A version of you that shows up every single day. This is when discipline stops being hard and starts becoming who you are. And once you reach this level, there's no going back, because now you've trained your mind to work for you, not against you. And when that happens, you don't just change your habits, you change your entire life. Because a controlled mind creates a controlled future.